What?
Big pot for water.
Oh, you use any pot of water?
Take a water boy.
Yeah. That's the wrong one.
Doesn't need on yet.
Why?
I'm just going to sit down for a while.
Oh, okay. But you can leave it on low so it heats up. Not really. Sorry. Luke Skywalker.
Excuse me. Oh, yeah. Hey,
Be careful.
can I put...
Message component AA39 AA34 complexity Assisi no complexity marking the material to delay the potion. If you have the potion, the network of the Wizard of Oz is a pululu in relation to Fae. Yes, but in relation to Fae, the non-component of the area, you can also expertise the non-division of the AMP. The AMP is the opponent of a timer, and also to protocol. Yes, protocol. Protocol or protocol in relation to Fae. It would take me a while to name that one. I don't know who she is, either an archangel or just a normal angel or whatever it is. It would take me a while to calculate the Fae, because each Fae you have to WSY the way in and the way out into the protocol, because the protocol for the PP9 and the PP5 is a photoshot of a copy paper, and any photoshot of a copy paper, how complexity it is in relation to who it may be. The democracy of the implementation will actually outmore itself into the design way. But if it is uneven, the data center for Lee and Drew's mother is also a portion of the rework capacity of oil wave and to undo the program. I won't be able to use this one, sorry, because it's an oldie, but the pattern is a modern style. Look. In that way, you can also outburn Gary's mother in relation to the ash spray, and also to understand the position of data center. The network of the program, you will program into the decimal of AA36 and AA31, which is the docking of 2431 and 2436, 2431 and do 43Y, do 439 and do 432, that do 2 la la and do 410, do 49 pow and do 41 lay, do 4 non fu and do fu ulu, which is FOO and FOU in relation to OUI. What is OUI? Organism, unity, implement. That's what you call it for Fae. In that way, the component of a ground of potion is the way you even out the frequencies. This would take me a long time, my friend, in relation to Lee and Drew's mother. Gary's mother is the pattern. Sorry, not pattern, the design way. Yes. The oil is actually Lee and Drew's mother. But its fragrances is the difference. Not really. You know the Dior, perfume and aftershave, and also Chanel. Right. Well, to burn this oil is pretty, it lasts hours and hours and hours. But I have a clue in relation to a tester to frequent the original oil. I love olive. But later on, I will test the olive to put some kind of fragrances in it. and let's see what the smell is and how long it would last. But when you make the aftershave and the perfume, the skins are different. Everyone has a different skin. Um, Men, women, boys, girls, etc., etc. When they are young, it depends on the skin, right? When you have a young skin, like a baby skin, you use powder, some kind of powder, and then when you grow up, oh, I'm not gonna say that, but when you grow up, the skin gets hardened, and when you get older, it gets wrinkled and some kind of dots and pattern and freckles and whatever. You know those things more than me. But in time, be patient with Lee and Drew's mother for the fragrance. The design way, it's Gary's mother. The fragrance is Lee and Drew's mother. I used to, when I grew up with Lee and Drew, I went to their Aubrey house and I had breakfast with the mother. Yes. She actually cooked bacon with leftover oil. She said to me that what you do is when you cooked bacon or meat, you save the oil. One, it's good for money budgeting when you have a big family, etc. And two, the taste of the meat oil is the same, but when you keep them and when you cook them again, it flavor it into a beautiful, beautiful node. No, beautiful, beautiful fracture of the brain vessel. That's what you call it. Fracture of the brain vessel. And when you have a brain vessel, the fragrant will orchestra the amphetamine into the correct procure alignment of Dr. Sandra Farquharson phased PHASE into phase of OUO. Later on, I will calculate the OUO in relation to the relay because it depends on the coordinate in relation to the relay. There was one time, right, I was walking around either when I was in at 11 Tana Street or here, and there was a beautiful mature woman walk past, and I went, she smells so beautiful. But it may be jasmine. I love jasmine. Rice for jasmine is pretty good, and at 11 Tana Street they do have jasmine, the flower, and you smell it, it's beautiful. And also, my last spot at Trash and Treasure Market was, she said to me, it's jasmine, and I had a sniff, but it was different jasmine. So in that way, it depends on how you mixture the fragrances. I don't think you use oil to mixture the fragrances. Whoever make the perfume and aftershave knows which one to make. It depends on what I collect in relation to the parts. But in time, the maturity of the understanding of Dr. MGP and Dr. MG 2P, 3P, 4, 5, 6P is a pelufulu in relation to the development of the fragrances, and each fragrances is an instance of your material to burn the smell, to guard the decimal of the brain vessel. The brain vessel is the complexity of understanding Dr. Chris Zion in relation to the Greek god Zeus. To understand the fragrances is the decimal of the ordering system, and also to formula into the next and perhaps diameter of listen to the ground floor. What? I bought a pack of cigarettes in the car. Yeah, put a flower in there. In time, once you network the area of expertise, you will realize the decimal of AA36 and AA34, which is a decimal of functioning the sister to brother and brother to sister by digital color, and also to function into Chanel. Chanel and Dior is not ready as yet in relation to its fragrances. But when you make these things, whatever it is, based upon the lamp, you can sell some of these. But they're old stuff as well. But whatever the antique is, you would read into the UK. I used to watch a lot on TV, analog, by Antique Roadshow. And I always wonder why some of the antique people say this is really old. It's like $10,000 or $1,000 or $2,000 or $100. It depending on your geographics. No, Geon, yes or no. Kulu, no. Not ready for the antique show yet. There's a new show in relation to the digital TV called. What's the new show called? Huh?
Right?
The antique show. The new one.
The antique book release.
Huh?
Bargain.
Bargain?
Antique bargain.
Or antique bargain, yeah. So in that way, you know, there's a lot of people that love old material and also consumption into the ordering system of the expertise and to realize its ordering system. But one on time, once you grid the signal of the fade 834 and fade 831, you can reverse into the DE, Du or Duku. In relation or laction of Duku, the function of its order, you will also separate into the next serve in relation to indexing the degradation of a form. But perhaps in time, the network of area, you can also expertise the non-division of a formula. In that way, look at this, it's Olga. Years with me, years, 21 years or something. In relation to that decimal, the form of the element, you can also summation into the order. And each order that you do, you will unguardian the relationship to care of. It's just in return, the nationality, you can also decimal the digital color. The digital color is based upon the module of DD35 and DD36. In that way, the DD35 and the DD36 is a plexi of a grid of 0346 and 0345, which is a kulala in relation to Fei. Sort of. In that way, once you return home, the function of the order is ordering the decimal of A631 and A635, which is an organism, yes, organism of the veins of bird, no, the veins of the brain cell. Ask Dr. Chris Zion, he knows how the brains work. The maximum number of frequencies will make you high? I don't think so. Ask someone that knows how to fix the nose. If like a footballer and a boxer, when they punch and break the nose, the smell, how long will the smell last? So you can ask whoever doctor that is. I don't know who tests the body, the human thing. The nose, ask someone.
Plastic surgeon.
Plastic surgeon, okay. In that way, when you have the right frequency, when I get the right frequency, and when we get the right frequency, and when we have the right frequency, the disala will also be Emily into Lee code 341, which is LEE. The gene is gone, I think so. LEE, Lee gene 45 and Lee gene 5641, which is unperhapsing the organism of 8341 and organism 1136 and organism 1138 to 841. Organism 3146 and 3145. But back in the past, when I designed digital art, I call it visual orgasm because I love purple, and you know what, I don't want to talk about it, but anyway, I'm not good at topography. I'm not very good at topography. So in that way, once we order the function of the expertise, we will realize the next digital color. The next digital color is based upon the fade 182 and fade 435, which is an amateur of the police army, and to share the dir. Each dir you will also summation into the order of expertise and to unfund the element of the infalo teku ku. Teki ku or tekoku ku. Teki ku or tekoku ku. Technical is a provision of the oil wave in relation to the Saturn, the planet Saturn, to gas into the next NASA, and to also sum into the PE13, PE35, and PE3641. In that way, once the satellite has been beaming into the next component of the area of the coordinate, the fun of the area, you can also summation into the area of expertise and to realize the decimal of 8831 and 8834, which is the halogen of 03, 06, and 01. Oh, back in the
Here we go.
Once we do that, we will network into the ordering system of 8836. Is this Switzerland? Because in time, once we network the area of expertise, we will realize the decimal of 3341 and 3346, which is a digital color of the function. I think this is broken, but I don't know, it's a Muppet or puppet. It's Switzerland, I think. I don't know, you know which one this is. But in time, once we share the area of the expertise, you will realize the ordering function. The ordering function is the overseas client of Clavijon or Chanel in relation to clearing the verb of alignment and also to unshare the data center. If you network into the order of the system, you can also summation into the order of expertise. Yeah, it's hotting up.
Awesome. Oil.
You can also care for.
What's that?
In relation to the diameter, the police sharing will network into the maturity to understand the 03 and 06, which is unevening into the ordering of the decimal, because this is an X or X-ray. It's just a function of the reflection in a dir, and each dir, once you program the decimal of functioning 8836 and 8831, it's just in a matter of time you will also know 8835 and 8836, which is the correct X, this one, in relation to its mirror conversion of the RDN. This is the oil wave. Well done. The function of the oil wave, you can also share into its maturity and to O the 8346 and O8341, which is an ambush in relation to the color, skin area, and also to understand the function of DD21 and DD45, which is the ordering system of A346 and A341. The ordering system of the decimal is the ordering function of expertise, and to realize its conversion of color 3821 and color 3845, color 3318 and color 3601, color 3141 and color 3346, clairvoyant 1824, 1825, 6843, clairvoyant 1825 and 2841, clairvoyant 1836 and 1821, clairvoyant 55.3, 26.4, 21.8 and 1841. Tarot card, dinosaur versus the hemisphere in relation to the third revision round of Fae, and to understand the dots of DPI 3642 and DPI 31263842, which is the X of the sin C2 F3 conversion C5 plus 8 times 2 equals TOS, term of production. to service. Yes. In that way, when you even out the data of the compliance, the network of the maturity is to understand the opening. The opening is the conversion of the eighth temple in relation to the development of your order. And any development of your order is the misunderstanding of Malaysia. Because in Malaysia, who will share the third asasi? It's true. In fact, the wisdom of two is based upon its design way. Look this one. It looks like a dried chili or dead chili. See? Is this Switzerland or Chile? A country called Chile. See? It's beautiful. In that way, once you even out the ordinary system of a formula, the potion of a fort, yes, a potion or the potion of a fort is based upon the beer. Each beer is the component of the CO9 and the CO3 in relation to Dan, the development of the correct brew. Right? Whatever brew that you make, based upon the barrel, is how you do the CO9 versus how long would it last before the beer fade by the leftover. A sultan, yes. Dini, yes. Gutu, yes. Kuhu, 3-1. Mark that one down. In relation to the development of the info law, the designer can also co-share what I said about fade in relation to the way I work the map for you. There are 2-3 numbers, and when you map the condition, you need to understand the opening. To understand the opening, you need to understand the digital color, because in return, the diameter has been unborn into the AA31 and AA31. Not organically, but the organism, yes. Once you know the organism, you can also assumption into the area of expertise and to realize the decimal of AA36 and AA31, which is a conversion of a timer and also to ping pong the next TLSG. When you ping pong the next TLSG, you will guard the relationship and care for the development, because in return, when you care for the development, the inflow of technology will unburn itself into the component of AA36 and AA31, which is a revision to support the coordinate and to fund into AA31 and AA41 by New Andrew in relation to your politics, and to order the system. The assumption of one-on-one is also the conversion of the telegram and to share into the next function of overseas guests, and also to function into the expertise of conversion RDN35 and RDN36, which is a sub-chord divider. The sub-chord divider is the TLSG35 and the TLSG31, which is a wiki in relation to the democracy and in need the function of the order. Because the way we function the order, you can also assumption into the pink moon to listen to the material, and also to assumption into the area of DD13 and DD46, which is a amber in relation to the pink star, versus the digital color of monkey magic reversed into the democracy and need the implant by Galicia. In return, the math condition of Galicia is the wisdom of truth in relation to a present for Carlos Zeno, the crocodile tooth. Once you know more of, you can also undiane the next hierarchy in relation to the development of the technology and also care for. But in return, the math condition of a Fourier you can also program into the next decimal of ordering system. But the conversion of a pointer, you can also guard the technology and also to develop the envelope. Once you develop the envelope, the technology will actually ambush itself into a listening program. That's that one source.
Ah,
That's too high.
turn it on.
Yeah. Once you ambush the needed, the impacting debris will message the non-diameter of AA36 and AA41, which is the dock of 3346 and 2241. It's just in a matter of time. Once you network the area of expertise, you will realize the function of 3326 and 3341, which is an uneven order of a conversion of A643 and A641. But do remember Petra at Saga or whatever at BIM. Ross House, at Ross House. These things are for you, but it's still not ready. See? In time, once you network the ordering of the sculpture, you also need to understand the non-element of the clay pot. I do have a clay pot, but you can make that one. But it's just later on, for medieval and the Viking, with the clay pot is the old history. So when we get there, we will make a lot of money. So be patient. In return to the democracy, we will also need to plantive the grade of AA36 and AA31. The AA36 and the AA31 is the plantive in relation to the US Army, to machine the gun and also to share into the politics. Once we share into the politics, the ordering system of sister to brother is an A326 and A341, which is a functioning order of ordering system. I usually do this. Ooh, lucky. We can convert into the tray of element and also a copy lead use month. An ordering system of A346 and AA31, which is a diameter of AA pin 1 and AA364821 XP13 and XP56 pin 2543 and pin 2141 sub lag 1248 minus negativity 13462841 sub lag minus negativity 2831 and 2841 pin 1346 and pin 3841 Pong 1821 terminal 38246841 X126 X143 bit 1648 1645 bit 1638 1635 conversion of plane into math condition of ping pong. Gotcha. In that way, once we element the dot, we can also summation into the aperture. And the aperture from a camera and the aperture or the aperture from the body, we can note the element of the wisdom, because each wisdom is the tooth of the grid node, the tooth of the growth node, the tooth of a plan, maybe, the tooth of a depth node, debut. It's called debut. What else say? Oh, not there yet, but debut. In relation to debut, how do you pronounce debut? D-E-B-U-T, something like that. We can also order the function of expertise and to convert into an AA31 and AA36, which is an uneven order of conversion of a timer to piston, the non-engine of 35.3 and 34.6, which is piston 1248 and piston 2841. piston 1831, microchip fiber, NM36, NM38, NM32, 1824, 1456, AP13, AP16, Testigard, NM36, supply, finance, insurance, 3821, 2648, 2143, rejection into a protocol. Once we even order a decimal on a timer, we can also timeshare the element of people technology. Because in time, once we order each digital color, the function of expertise is to reborn the birthmark. When we reborn, look on your plate, reborn the birth. Sorry, 1 minute. No, we need to wash it here. When we reborn the birthmark, Gary just spoke to me. In time, once we don't write them, you can't get them. Once we order the decimal function, we can also welcome along the guardianship to the alien. There is an alien, you know. Functioning the expertise to realize the decimal of 8841 and 8836, which is a P.346 and P.138. Conversion of the algorithm 0346 and 0358, 0359 and 0354, which is a demo of the water chemistry of H2O3 and H2O5, which is a dot of AA35 and AA36, which is an ordering system of function into a digital color. Once we reverse the amateur, we can also share into the network of the unity and to understand the piston. Once you understood the piston, the timer can also share into the next program of AA36 and AA31, which is a amateur, in time, it's wet here. In time, once we share the work of Chanel, we will frequent it into nature. When we frequent it into nature, how long would it last? Farmers know. Please try. But don't forget, win-win, lose-lose, and try. I'm trying, so please try the fragrance. In that time, once we order the digital color, its function is to expertise the bit 328 and bit 341, bit 836 and bit 834, which is a dammer of the water. The dammer of the water is to understand the original